Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So 52-year-old Florida man John Crowley posted on Instagram on December 25th of 2020, and he was asking for donations. Now, Crowley shared an image with a call to all patriots. This was an image created by the 3%er group called Guardians of Freedom, of which he was a member. And it said that the money was going to be used for a trip to D.C. on January 6th and for things like tactical gear, like all tourists take to the Capitol. And it said they wanted these things so they could, quote, protest the fraudulent election and reestablish liberty for our nation. So prior to January 6th, the group circulated a list of recommended items to take to D.C., and that list included body armor, helmets, face covers to secure your identity, mace/pepper spray, a knife up to 3 inches in length, and squirt bottles for milk. So that was to be used to rinse out people's eyes if they were hit with pepper spray and stuff. So on January 5th of 2021, Crowley drove with the other Guardians of Freedom members, and they went to D.C., and then on January 6th, he was seen outside the lower West Terrace tunnel of the Capitol. He was watching as other people were violently attacking the police. Now, eventually, Crowley jumped in. He participated in several of those collective heave-ho pushes. They were pushing against the police in unison. And then Crowley helped another man who was hanging off the mouth of the tunnel. Crowley allowed this man to stand on his shoulders for about 11 seconds, they said, while this man was kicking at the officers and stomping on them. So a short time after that, Crowley was seen forcing his way into the tunnel. He got into a physical altercation with an officer named Henry Fouls, I think is how you pronounce it. Crowley pushed against the officer's shield. He was trying to get further into the tunnel. And Crowley refused to retreat, even after they sprayed him with chemicals at least 7 times. So the police ultimately gained more ground. They successfully pushed everyone out. So they pushed Crowley and everyone back to the mouth of the tunnel. But before he left, Crowley passed a stolen riot shield back to the mob. So was still helping, like I said, sprayed at least 7 times. The guy just wouldn't quit. So after exiting the tunnel, Crowley remained in the area. He was there for about 10 minutes. Then he approached the entrance of the tunnel again. He started encouraging other people to join him in this fight. And then about 5 minutes later, Crowley pushed his way through the mob and went into the tunnel a second time. So he immediately started in with the heave-ho push against the police. He was forced out again. He was sprayed with chemicals. Once again, Crowley hung around the outside of the tunnel for several minutes. Then he maneuvered toward the front of the crowd again, and then he tried to enter the tunnel a third time. Now, he didn't make it inside that time because the police sprayed him and everybody else with chemicals before they even had a chance to breach the entrance. And then a short time after that, Crowley left the Capitol grounds finally. So later that night, Crowley exchanging messages with a friend, and he confirmed, yeah, I was in D.C., and he wrote, quote, "It was patriots that stormed the Capitol, not Antifa. Pepper sprayed 3 times. The next day, Crowley texted again, and this time he changed his story. He said, quote, "I eat my words. Antifa was in Capitol. They were Antifa with some patriots mixed in, people say. Cops stood by while they let a couple handfuls of people in and then shut it down." Yeah, people say, people who have a reason to lie. So Crowley's story continued to evolve. Later in the year, in September of 2021, he texted a friend and he said, quote, "I was there. Guards were letting people in. Trump never incited any violence. The media and Democrats are lying to you." Really? So guards were letting people in, but Crowley who he says witnessed this for himself, Crowley went over and repeatedly pushed on officers and assaulted officers trying to force his way in. Why? Why didn't he just use the entrance where the guards were letting people in? Huh, Crowley? Doesn't really make sense when you think of it, does it? So anyway, Crowley was arrested on August 24th of 2022, and he was charged with civil disorder, entering restricted grounds, disorderly conduct on restricted grounds, impeding passage on Capitol grounds, theft of government property, and physical violence on restricted grounds. During his arrest, Crowley was seen and heard on body cam berating the FBI agents. He called them jackasses. He called them evil. He repeatedly said, "Shame on y'all." And then he accused them of, quote, letting the Democratic media machine use you like this. The Gestapo, basically. Or as Marjorie Trader Green would say, the Gazpacho police. So Crowley rejected a plea deal. He opted for a bench trial, and in October of 2023, the judge found Crowley guilty on all but 2 counts. So he was acquitted of theft of government property and physical violence on restricted grounds. So based on the felony conviction for the civil disorder charge alone, Crowley faced up to 5 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested 21 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. U.S. District Judge Trevor McFadden presided over Crowley's case, and in the end, Crowley was sentenced to 8 months in prison, 6 months of home detention, 3 years of probation, and $7,000 in restitution. So a decent sentence. I wish it was closer to what the prosecutors requested, but it's actually better than I expected because remember, this is a Trump-appointed judge. This is a judge who literally served on his transition team. So anyway, pretty sad that he's giving out harsher sentences than some Biden appointees. Think about that. All right, I will let you all know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like this video, share it with everyone you know. You can share it by email even. I don't know if everybody knows that. So if you're not on other social medias, that's fine. You can still share it via email. Donate if you possibly can. Please become a subscriber if you have not. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.